Hey guys, Junior Pierce here with Heavyset Custom Rods. I kind of failed last week. I didn't get a video put together to upload. Just to be completely honest, I've been truly blessed and overwhelmed with the business. Last week, I don't know exactly how many rods that I put out. I know I shipped 5 or 6 tubes. I don't think that one of them had one rod in it. So I appreciate all the customers and everybody believing in the products that I put together here. Right now, I'm currently doing a static test. This is a 7.6 heavy. This has got a solid cork handle. This is for Tommy Biffle. This is for his Biffle bug rod. He does, of course, he's an old school flipper. It don't even get any more old school than just a solid cork handle anymore. That's something that a lot of people's gotten away from recently. But he's old school as they come. Anyway, like I said, this is for his Biffle bug rod. I do got a Quantum Smoke reel on here. This is his reel of choice. I don't know how many he's got, but he's got a ton of them. So I've got the rod in my rod holder here. Once I get all the guides and all put on here, I will add weight to the butt of the rod to balance the rod out. That's another old school deal that I say old school. I mean, a lot of people want it now, but a lot of people don't even know what that means. But basically, when you balance a rod, it's more comfortable in your hand to hold the tip up, whereas that'll keep the slack out of the line. So, when you're trying to identify a bite, you're more prone to feel it. Versus if the rod's kind of tip heavy, you hold that rod down, the line, there is some slack in your line, and it's just not as sensitive. So balancing that rod helps you keep the rod tip up, and it helps you to feel that bite a little bit better. So like I said, I've got his reel on here that I will balance it to. I'm also doing the static test with it because the line spool on the rod is actually your first stripper guide. So I tape the guides. They make all kind of things now to O-rings and whatnot to hold these guides on here while you static test it. But guess I'm kind of old school myself. I like to use tape. That's just what I got used to, and hey, it works for me. So that's just what I stick to. But ideally, the first guide out of that reel, though, your first stripper guide needs to be 18 to 24 inches, from the front of that reel. But I play with it to get it right where I need it to be the best performance. Static testing a rod allows you to eliminate guides that you don't need and add guides when you need to add them. That way you're getting the utmost performance out of this rod. So right this minute I've got 8 guides, and I didn't put them all the way out here on the end. And I know it's going to be kind of hard to see the line in here, but I mean, we're just going to roll with it here, and I'm going to do my best I can to explain it. But I've actually got the tip on the rod, and I've got it tied off to a 5-gallon Kentwood water jug, and it just works for me because I can slide it back and forth. But I like to put a pretty good bend in this rod, and I tape the guides just roughly. To be honest, I didn't measure anything. I just kind of taped these up there. Just off of just looking at it, just to see where we're at. But right now, this first guide is about roughly 20 inches. I do think that I can move this one out, a little further. What determines the first guide placement is the height of that reel. So where the line spools off of that reel goes through the worm gear deal there. However high that is determines this first guide. So honestly, the line's kind of riding on the bottom of that guide, so I'm going to move it on out. So moving that out allows me to move the next one out, and the next out, to where I may be able to eliminate one guide and not have to have as many as normal. That's one of the main things that it allows me to do. It also allows me to make sure that the load is distributed equally over this rod, so that it doesn't break, on a hook set or what have you. Anytime you have a failure in a rod, this is what prevents that, and it still happens. Don't get me wrong, but this helps to try to eliminate that at the get-go. So what we try to do is get the line to follow the contour of that blank in that bend. So anytime the line dips down and either touches or even sometimes passes the blank there, when it drops down below, we need to add a guide. So if these two were spaced out, just say 3 more inches, that line would be touching the blank or, on it or past it. So we would need to add add a guide there. So this is just some of the small steps that we do that a lot of people take for granted. You don't know that we do this. I'm sure a lot of the bigger companies have, there is a program you can buy, but nothing beats hands-on. I don't care what it is. So anyway, I'm sure some of the bigger companies do this, but maybe do it every now and then, what have you. But, after I do this rod, I'll take all the measurements out, and it'll make it easier on the next build. It'll be a little faster. So a 7/6 heavy is a rod that I would normally build. This handle length is one that Tommy requested for his bug. Everybody knows he is crazy about that bug. He's won a lot of money off of it, so he is very critical and very picky when it comes to that rod that he needs for that bait. So that handle length there, we kind of had to move the reel seat and everything for it. So to compensate that, I'm doing the static test to make sure that it's utmost performance for him. I'm going to try to keep all my videos pretty short. So, and also, I don't want to go into too much detail. I could sit here and talk about this all day, but this just kind of gives you an idea of the things that I go through to make sure that I'm sending out the best product I can. I know it's not the best video quality there is. This is what it is. This is the rod room here. This is one side of it. I've got some rods drying. I've got another rod in the wrapper. Rods laying on the table. What you see is what you get with me. Here it is, y'all. So, again, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. I hope that you'll subscribe and check us out. If you're in the area, if you're in the Flowood, Mississippi area, I'd love for you to come by and talk rods. If you got any questions, comment below, shoot me an email, call me. My phone number's everywhere. My phone goes off constantly. Don't hesitate to call me, contact me anyway, social media, whatever. I'll be happy to answer any questions I can for you and help you any way possible. Thank y'all again, guys. Y'all have a good one.